From battling addiction
So you were dry for 20 years?
Yes.
to walking away from fame in search of peace.
That is amazing.
It's enough.
Here are the moments when comedians dropped the act and got real. Starting with Robin Williams, a comedian with manic brilliance, but behind the laughter carried a weight few ever saw. Before the world saw Williams as a comedy genius, he was the man who could light up a room with just a look, a human firework of wit, voices, and physical comedy.
Go home to my child, and he looks at me in a very special way he does, and goes, It's great when your name, he looks at my wife and goes, Mama. And looks at me. Oh, I did. I hope that's a great name to go through. Where's your father?
His comedy style? Fast, improvised, and emotionally electric.
Wandering around Stratford after a couple of beers, knocking on doors, going, is this 2B or not 2B? I wrote that. It's mine. That's mine. I'm William Shakespeare, right? Kiss my time.
In the 1970s and 80s, Robin was at the height of his fame, with Mork and Mindy, in addition to his iconic stand-up and big screen hits.
The door! It's breaking, the door! Mindy, run for your life! The emotions are coming! Free at last!
But behind the scenes, he was using cocaine and alcohol to numb the exhaustion and pressure.
Nice thing, though. Coke. What a wonderful drug. Anything that makes you paranoid and impotent, give me more of that.
In interviews, he later described cocaine as God's way of telling you you are making too much money. The sudden death of John Belushi in 1982, who died of a drug overdose hours after partying with Robin, became a turning point for him. Williams checked into rehab and tried to get clean, calling it a wake-up call he couldn't ignore.
So you were dry for 20 years?
Yes.
As he sobered up, his comedy shifted. Still sharp, still manic, but with more soul. He'd sneak in jokes about therapy, loneliness, and addiction, wrapped in laughter, but rooted in pain.
Was there one moment that you fell into it again? Was it one day?
No, it's very gradual. You're standing at a precipice and you look down. There's a voice, and it's a little quiet voice that goes, jump. It's the same voice. The same voice goes, just one. There's a voice that goes, jump. And the idea of just one. And for someone who has no tolerance for it, that's not a possibility.
Fans and critics noticed. Suddenly, Robin wasn't just a clown. He was a mirror, a man who exposed the contradictions of fame, the fragility of joy, and the chaos behind the curtain.
To talk about it as caused by something.
Not caused by anything, it's just there. It's just, it's latent, waits. It lays in wait, and for the time when you think, it's fine now, I'm okay. And then, beep. And then the next thing you know, it's not okay. It's not going so well. And then you realize, where am I? This is strange. I didn't realize I was in Cleveland.
Despite his openness, Robin's struggle with depression never fully left. In 2014, after being misdiagnosed with Parkinson's, later revealed as Lewy body dementia, he took his own life, leaving behind a world still echoing with his laughter.
Tragic, devastating word that Robin Williams has been confirmed dead. He was 63 years old. His wife has confirmed it in a statement saying the actor and comedian has been battling severe depression.
Public reaction was overwhelming. The day the laughter died. If Robin Williams wore his pain behind a smile, George Carlin wielded his with a sharpened tongue. Before he was the high priest of counterculture, George Carlin wore suits and played it safe. He was funny, charming, and network-friendly.
No army can make it without a sergeant, a tough, veteran, battle-hardened sergeant, and the Indians were no exception.
All right, all the tall guys over by the trees. Fat guys down behind the rocks. You with the beads, out of line.
But that version of Carlin didn't last. In the early 1970s, something shifted. He dropped the tie, let his hair down, and started saying everything you weren't supposed to say.
How to get rid of counterfeit money? Put it in the collection plate at church. See how often this simple solution will elude us.
He helped many people understand the common people's freedom.
There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. They're irrelevant. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't.
The true nature of American politics, and even mocked religious dogma.
Because I got to tell you the truth, folks. I got to tell you the truth. When it comes to bullshit, big time, major league, you have to stand in awe.
in awe of the all-time champion of false promises and exaggerated claims, religion. No contest.
Carlin treated the stage like a podium, one wrapped in humor but powered by outrage. That also included 7 very specific words.
And all I could think of was piss, cunt, suck 'em up, current.
The bit was called 7 Words You Can Never Say on Television. It was clever, satirical, and hilarious. But it got him arrested in Milwaukee in 1972.
No, there were, but it wouldn't have changed anything I did if I had known there were children in the audience. In fact, I think children need to hear those words the most because as yet they don't have the hang-ups. It's adults who are locked into certain, thought patterns.
What started as a rebellious bit on stage turned into a national legal battle when the routine aired on radio and a listener filed a complaint with the FCC. What followed was a Supreme Court case, FCC versus Pacifica Foundation, resulting in a ruling that reshaped broadcast censorship for decades. With all that, Carlin became a symbol of both free speech and its limits, astonishing new fans to this day. This man was not a comedian. He was a genius philosopher operating under the guise of a comedian. If George Carlin challenged authority with words that cut too deep for comfort, then Michael Richards proved how words could destroy a career in seconds. Michael Richards was beloved as the eccentric Kramer on Seinfeld, a physical comedy genius with perfect timing and boundless energy.
Jerry, I think I'm on to something. Oh, hey, guys. Man, I'm telling you, this pizza idea is really gonna happen.
In the 90s, he wasn't just part of a hit sitcom, he was comedy royalty.
Kramer had done a small scene in a Woody Allen movie, these pretzels are making me thirsty. That was the only line he had. So people used to say that. I'd walk into a restaurant, somebody go, hey, these pretzels are making me thirsty.
But in 2006, all of that goodwill unraveled in just a few horrifying minutes on stage at the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles.
Shut up! 50 years ago they had you upside down with a fucking fork up your... You can talk, your brain now.
Oh my God.
The crowd fell silent. Laughter died.
Wait a minute, where's he going? Call him in, crack.
And the audience decided to give Richards a harsh taste of his own medicine.
You're not funny. That's why you reset. Never had no show, never had no movie. Seinfeld, that's it. Oh, I guess you got me there. You're absolutely right.
The video went viral before viral was even a thing. Headlines exploded. News outlets ran the clip nonstop. Twitter didn't exist yet, but the backlash traveled fast and wide. Richards tried to apologize on The Late Show with David Letterman via satellite, while Jerry Seinfeld sat uncomfortably beside a confused audience.
I lost my temper on stage, a comedy club trying to do my act, and I got heckled, and I took it badly and went into a rage. And I'm very, very sorry.
The apology felt awkward, hollow to some, genuine to others, but the damage was done. This has to be the most awkward damage control in television history. Comedy clubs distanced themselves, TV producers backed away, and most importantly, audiences never looked at him the same. 18 years later, exactly as I'm typing this out, this still hasn't been topped in terms of career-ending rants. Richards effectively vanished from stand-up and kept a low profile. The meltdown forced Richards into a complete reevaluation of who he was.
I canceled myself out. Certainly getting to a place where I could forgive myself because I have to move on.
If Michael Richards imploded in a single night, Artie Lang unraveled in slow motion with a collapse that was public, painful, and anything but funny. Artie Lang was the guy who said what everyone was thinking, loud, crude, and always unapologetically blue collar.
Happy birthday!
Hey, thank you.
I didn't get you nothing. He got you, son. I didn't get you nothing.
Well, okay.
I don't make the kind of scratch, Carson. I couldn't afford
You could pick up something, yeah.
What if the three of us go out tonight on us? We'll get your pipes clean.
Whether he was on Mad TV,
What's your name, Robert, as in Bob Marley? You one of them lazy pot-smoking Jamaicans? Shaquata, I told you never to bring no convicts in my house.
or being the raw, unfiltered voice on The Howard Stern Show.
Have the pancakes ready.
So,
oh man.
What's wrong? You all right?
I don't know. I think I had a mini heart attack.
I told you you should have walked and get your own food. It upsets
look,
you.
you're gonna wear yourself out.
Artie Lang doesn't get his own food. His lunch that costs $4,000 at a deli.
Lang was known for bringing chaos and comedy in equal measure. But behind the wild humor was something darker, addiction, depression, and a sense of self-destruction that his fans could never quite laugh off.
I was in a rehab, which I got to give a shout out to. This place, Turning Point, in Patterson is where I really got clean. I was there for 3 months. I did a month in jail, and then I did 3 months at Turning Point.
For years, Artie turned his pain into punchlines. Heroin, cocaine, binge eating, nothing was off limits in his act.
So then they sent me down to rehab, 20 miles outside of Miami. That's not too frustrating. I'm in rehab 20 minutes from Coke Town.
And for a while, the audiences laughed, until they couldn't. We've all been there, Artie. Rehab's a bit. Stay strong, much love. In 2010, that darkness came to a head.
Tried to kill himself. He stabbed himself with a knife 9 times. 6 were described as hesitation wounds, and 3 of them were deep plunges.
The news shocked the entertainment world, but for those paying attention, it didn't come as a surprise. You don't need to be a psychologist to understand that by acting like that, he was just trying to punish himself. In the months that followed, fans flooded forums and Stern Show discussions, mourning not just the near loss of a comic, but the brutal reminder of how often laughter masks suffering.
You remembered it all?
Well, it was never like a real state. It was like, you know, I never, like I said, if I had abs, I'd be dead.
Artie eventually returned to comedy with visible scars and a reconstructed nose due to years of drug abuse. His voice was raspier, his pace slower, but his act was still honest.
Now, what are you doing for thrills? Like, do you have to replace
the Joe Rogan podcast?
He started doing sober shows, radio appearances, and podcasts where he spoke openly about relapse, shame, and clawing his way back. Many fans admired his transparency. You can tell he is and has been sober, and he's as funny as ever. Keep going, Artie. But Jim Carrey's unraveling came like a magic trick. Slowly, subtly, and then all at once. In the 1990s and early 2000s, Jim Carrey wasn't just famous. He was a phenomenon. A human cartoon with the face of 1,000 expressions and the energy of a nuclear reactor. He was box office gold. Kids adored him. Adults quoted him. The world laughed loudly and often.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Feeling a little strange tonight, and I'm not sure why. No, I'm kidding you. That's just a little bit of a physical gag to get the show started off with a bang, and, well, you won't be seeing much more physical humor in my show.
But while the characters screamed on screen, the man behind them was growing quieter.
That's how wealthy people laugh.
I wouldn't have
As the cameras kept rolling, Carrey began stepping back into solitude and into something else.
I don't exist, so they're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey.
I'm telling you, kids, don't come to Hollywood. I'm serious.
Carrey wasn't just having an existential crisis, he was broadcasting it.
I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself.
At red carpets, he spoke in riddles. On talk shows, he questioned ego, identity, and the illusion of fame.
There's no meaning to any of this, so I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
The media called it a breakdown. Fans called it enlightenment. The man climbed up to the highest level of Hollywood to find out it's all nothing but a joke. You have my respect. Either way, Carrey wasn't selling slapstick anymore. He was deconstructing reality in public. In interviews, Carrey spoke openly about spiritual awakening and how chasing success nearly destroyed him.
I understood suddenly how thought was just an illusory thing. Thought is responsible for, if not all, most of the suffering we experience.
He rejected Hollywood's glamour, took years off, painted enormous chaotic canvases, and when he spoke again, it wasn't with punchlines, but with philosophy.
You know, kind of thing, and you're just the sweaty guy behind the curtain going, it's an amazing metaphor, you know, in that movie.
On the other hand, Sarah Silverman faced something more concrete, a photo, a backlash, and the sudden sharp mirror of her past. Sarah Silverman built her brand on being unapologetically provocative.
Everybody blames the Jews for Christ, and then the Jews try to pass it off on the Romans. You know, I'm one of the few people that believes it was the blacks.
A sweet voice delivering jaw-droppingly dark jokes.
I was raped by a doctor, which is, you know, so bittersweet for a Jewish girl.
She wasn't just fearless, she was calculated. She knew exactly how far to push.
I have a very strong moral compass. I was just thinking about this today. And then I realized that you can't say moral compass without oral. And I was so excited. I was like, that's me!
In the 2000s, she was the queen of satire, the darling of alternative comedy. Her show, The Sarah Silverman Program, poked at religion, race, and politics with cartoonish irreverence.
Loser king. Yeah, I want to be the first comic ever to on Martin Luther King.
Fans loved her. She makes people uncomfortable before making them laugh. Then she makes them uncomfortable for laughing. She is a skilled craftsman, and your emotions are the soft wood she toys with. But in 2019, a photo from a 2007 sketch resurfaced in which she sported blackface.
I look like the beautiful Queen Latifah. Thanks. I love it. It's so Rhoda. New York, this is your last chance.
It wasn't new to her audience, but it was new to the internet's outrage machine. Social media lit up. Her gigs were canceled. A movie role disappeared overnight.
Your girl, actress Sarah Silverman, has been fired from a new movie. A lot of you are talking about this right now. The 48-year-old comedian was fired over a blackface controversy that happened 12 years ago on her Comedy Central show.
The same audiences that once applauded her irony now questioned her judgment. Sarah Silverman. Why is everyone so mean to me? I'm a victim. Wah, cry, cry, cry. Also Sarah Silverman? Silverman didn't deny it. She didn't excuse it. Instead, she went on podcasts, interviews, and late-night shows to reflect on the choices she made in a different era of comedy.
I was hired at SNL and almost immediately fired. I bombed for years. But it's all part of the journey, which is the fun part.
She admitted that she once thought context and irony were enough to shield her, that if the joke was on racism, not a racist joke, it would land.
Still of me on Twitter in blackface, and it's totally out of context.
Right.
And I tweeted it when Twitter was new and the people that followed me watched my show, and it was from that show. Right. And now it's just forever there, and it's totally racist out of context, and I regret that.
But time proved her wrong. The comedy world, once a safe space for provocation, no longer gave her a pass. Sarah Silverman isn't funny, first of all. Second, she tries way too hard to be that quirky, funny girl. Since then, Silverman's comedy has shifted. She learned to turn controversy into growth. Meanwhile, Christina Pazsitzky faced a different reckoning, the isolating chaos of new motherhood.
I love fat dudes, and thank you. I'm not talking like so fat he beats you in a wet t-shirt contest. but like fat enough that when he rolls over in bed, you hear this. It is so sexy.
Before diapers and delivery rooms entered her set list, Christina P. was known for her dry takes on adult life, marriage, and the everyday weirdness of being a grown-up woman.
I recently did this situation to my hair, and I regret it. And not only that, I paid so much money for it. I gotta tell you guys, like, LA is the only city in the world where a haircut costs more than an abortion.
A Comedy Store regular and co-host of the wildly successful Your Mom's House podcast with husband Tom Segura, she carved her space as sharp, relatable, and just a little twisted. But then, Christina became a mother, and everything changed. The birth of her first child didn't just alter her sleep schedule, it rattled her identity.
It broke me down emotionally, spiritually, physically. My body is dog shit.
Offstage, she spoke openly about the dark parts: postpartum depression, guilt, emotional distance, and the overwhelming pressure to be perfect.
Sometimes I might lock myself in the bathroom and clean my ears, and I might just push that Q-tip all the way in.
Her honesty struck a chord with a very specific audience, new moms who weren't finding comfort in Instagram perfect parenting. Having given birth to 2 babies, she is so right. The most honest description of giving birth came from my mom. She said, "It's like a 10-pound football sideways." That was when I was pregnant with my first child. She wasn't wrong. Christina's comedy didn't offer solutions. It offered solidarity.
Here's what I've done so far. So it's like a decade in therapy. And then every day, I wake up, I practice my gratitude, and then I drink my coffee, I take a shit, and I am still so up. Like I'm so crazy.
She didn't hide the messy parts. She cracked open the chaos of new motherhood. But Jerry Seinfeld faced a very different kind of crisis. Not what happens when your world falls apart, but what happens when you have it all and still choose to walk away.
Well, do you still want to see a movie later?
I wish I could, but we're friends.
In the late 90s, Seinfeld wasn't just a show. It was the show, a cultural juggernaut, a sitcom that broke all the rules while pretending it had none. And at its peak, 76 million people watched it end.
Yeah, no, I went off the air. I was the #1 show on television, Larry. Do you know who I am?
Jewish guy, Brooklyn.
Yes.
Okay.
75 million viewers last episode.
Wait.
Seinfeld didn't get canceled. He didn't fizzle out. He made a choice to walk away from one of the most successful shows in television history with no real pressure to do so.
The love affair between the people that were making the show and the audience was so intense. It was so white hot. I had to respect that. And I could not go to that point where it starts to age and wither.
It was a move that stunned Hollywood, especially since the network had offered him a generous deal to stay.
Warren Littlefield wrote that if you would have given him another season of Seinfeld, he would have paid you $110 million for the year.
And he said no, a decision that only deepened the respect his fans already had for him. Too many American sitcoms pump out season after season. Jerry is spot on with leaving at the perfect time while the audience is in love with the show. Seinfeld wasn't driven by drama or downfall. His reckoning was quieter, more introspective. And guess who helped him decide to end the series?
Yeah. The Beatles. Really? The Beatles. Beatles did 9 years, and that hunger for the Beatles that has lasted my whole life, because I still haven't gotten enough of them.
Wow.
That was really how I made the decision.
Wow.
Beatles, 9 years.
A man realizing that creative success isn't about stretching something until it breaks, it's about knowing when to let go. After the finale, Jerry retreated from the spotlight, not in shame, but in search of simplicity. He returned to stand-up, swapping studio lights for black box clubs, and eventually launched Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Can't believe the Super Bowl is in New York.
Well, I gotta have it somewhere.
You know, we're missing Bruno Mars. I don't know why we had to leave.
I wanted to get something to eat. I'm recording the second half. We'll catch up in 10 minutes.